Hi guys, my name is Justin Lake, and this is my presentation over the legal aspects of teacher evaluation for EDL 851. I'll start off, I just started this new school year at a new district in a new state. I taught in Kansas for 7 years. Then my wife and I bought a house out in the country in Missouri, so I got a job out here. I'm not exactly sure how the formal evaluations go. My principal for the elementary, I work in the elementary school for 2/3 of the day teaching elementary PE, and the other third of the day I'm teaching high school weights. So technically the elementary school is my home school. So I'm supposed to be, all my formal evaluations and stuff like that are supposed to go through my elementary principal. Well, she has been in my room one time this entire year in my gym. So while that doesn't bother me one bit, it doesn't exactly let me know how these evaluations are supposed to go. So today I actually stopped by our superintendent's office and asked him some questions pertaining to this assignment. It says if a teacher feels like an evaluation was inaccurate, they can write their official statement on why they believed it was inaccurate with any facts on the official evaluation that would go to the board. If a teacher feels as if they are unjustly being let go, they should first have a conversation with their immediate supervisor, whether that be their principal or the SPED coordinator, for instance. And after that, they can appeal to the superintendent. Probationary teachers can then ask for a private meeting, a closed-door meeting with the Board of Education, but this meeting doesn't have to be granted for non-tenured teachers. So for me, in the state of Missouri, I am non-tenured because it's my first year at this school district and even in the state. Tenured teachers, though, would have to have been on a PIP, which is a performance improvement plan, and it must not have been followed in some way, shape, or form. Tenured teachers also would be granted a public hearing with the Board of Education, and it would be very courtroom style. I'm told that the teacher's lawyer and the district would be speaking on behalf of them, providing evidence on why the accusations are either false or showing why the teacher should be offered another contract as opposed to being let go. If the teacher does not like how this public hearing with the Board of Education goes, then they can appeal to the local circuit court. My previous evaluations at my old school district were very cut and dry. We would have a planned date to discuss when we wanted to schedule everything out. I mean, I'm talking, I would have a meeting with my principal to talk about all the next meetings we're going to have, and we would put them down on the calendar. So we would get together on, let's say, September 1st, and then we would decide when we were going to have our pre-observation meeting. And we would also decide when we were going to have the actual observation, and then when we were going to have the post-conference meeting. And they would all be put on the calendar, times, date, everything. We also, at my old school district, the administration would do walkthroughs. And when they did their walkthroughs, they had some type of template that they followed that they could fill out while doing the walkthroughs. And I would literally get an email typically within an hour after I had an administrator walk through my building. One thing I liked about that was it wasn't always just my building administrator. Sometimes I was at a bigger district before. Sometimes it would be a principal from one of the other elementary schools. Sometimes it would be one of the high school or middle school principals that were doing walkthroughs in the elementary. So I thought that was kind of cool and unique. The court case that I talked about or wanted to talk about in this project was Letterman versus King. Teacher Sherry Letterman argued that there were inconsistencies regarding the state's ranking of teachers. One year she was essentially rated effective, and the next year she was rated ineffective, even though the student growth scores each year were very similar. In my opinion, that's a very legitimate concern. How are you supposed to know if you're doing a good job if one year you scored well and effective and you feel good about yourself, and then the next year you perform in essentially the same manner but you're ineffective? So not only does that worry me as far as how am I supposed to know if I'm doing good, but also what's the state really looking at to deem whether a teacher is effective or not? They need to clarify that, not only so the teacher can know that they're doing the right thing and improving and doing their job well, but also so they know exactly what they are trying to do and know exactly what the state is asking of them to be an effective teacher. A reflection on this project. As an administrator, I will always try my best to cross my T's and dot my I's when it comes to legal matters of any sort. Currently, I have a fantastic example with my current superintendent. Today, when I actually went in to ask him questions pertaining to this assignment, he was reading a book about education for schools, or not education for schools, legal advice for schools when you're handling situations like letting teachers go and stuff like that. And he was literally reading through it because this is the time of year where those tough decisions are made, where some teachers are let go. He said it's a very helpful tool. He actually, he showed me the book, let me take a picture of it, told me where I could get it. And he said he has used it not only for his time as a superintendent just this year, but he also would look back to it when he was a principal for about 10 years before this. He has not only given me good advice just for this class today, but he's also been incredibly helpful in many other ways for all my other classes through Fort Hays State. One of the other things that he told me that really helped him when he got into being a principal was to study current and old court cases involving education to avoid similar mishaps and to prevent problems like that from reoccurring. Again, this is Justin Lake, and this was my presentation for Module 2, EDL 851.